So comedian and YouTuber JP, which I find some of his material funny, but he made some really good points. He just made a video recently, and he was talking about how Netanyahu paid Hamas sums of money before the October 7th attacks through Qatar, and there was a stand-down order, which is something I've been talking about for a long time. I talked about it when it happened, and so did a lot of other people. It was obvious it was a stand-down. It was the most surveilled strip of land in the world, basically, and somehow the intelligence services in Israel didn't foresee this happening. That's a load of nonsense. And it has led into a series of events where you have this widening regional war in the Middle East on behalf of Israel by the hardcore, the Zionist group, the Netanyahu's, his advisors. They want to expand Israeli power in the region. To do that, they have to break Iran and possibly Turkey. So, with all this going on, I've made the point, and I'll link the description below of the article and the YouTube video with JP. It's a funny little clip that he made. But it's been well known that the Mossad, the Israeli intelligence, created and funded Hamas since its beginning, I believe in the 1970s. And it's the same thing why MI6 was involved with the groups in Northern Ireland, with United States, the CIA with Al-Qaeda, etc. They infiltrate and fund these terrorist groups for the purpose of creating problems when they need to create them. The power system, the way it's set up with the type of people running it, need to have crises to stay in power. If there was no wars and if people were to just do what they need to do, people would realize they don't need these so-called leaders. Why would you need Netanyahu? Why would you need the neocons? Why would you need these people? You can live your normal life. People would be more interested in trading with each other. Ideology wouldn't matter as much. Yes, it's important to have ideals and to live in a system that could potentially be better, but people would, through common sense, people would see what would work and what would not work. By generating a continuous set of crises, people don't do that. Now they're trying to protect themselves. Like right now, you have a negative news feed about, either it's propaganda that everything's hunky-dory, that the United States is weeks away from a negotiated settlement with Iran, and Iran has lost, in which case you'll be solely disappointed, or you're paying attention and you know that we're going to have fuel and other supply shortages as a result of Iran taking control of the straits. And this negativity is putting you on the defensive. It's putting you in a position where you cannot do the things that you necessarily have to do. It's kind of like the negativity and all the crises that these so-called leaders create is in itself a psychological parasite. It's siphoning off your time and attention and your patience and your ability to handle so many things in your head to the effect of their agenda. So yeah, the things that he says is correct, that JP says in this video, that Netanyahu paid Hamas through Qatar sums of money, that there was a stand-down order, that there is a Israeli lobby. There's actually two of them. They're a very powerful force in D.C. They have a lot of power and influence. You got Epstein, who was an intelligence asset of the CIA, MI6, and Mossad. And this is Israel is very much up the rear end of the United States. I made a video recently that by a law, essentially, Israel is given a special pass with regard to whether somebody's a foreign agent. In other words, you have to register as a foreign agent if you're taking the sides of a foreign country, unless it's Israel. That's a load of BS. But anyway, So enjoy the humorous video that I will link in the description below.